Hi. In today's Bible readings, we see a break between the description of the details of the temple, of Solomon's building the temple, and the construction of his own house, to give details of his own personal building projects. Now, he built his house more majestically than the temple. Now, I'm not judging that because the temple is a place of worship and then his house is, where he dwells. But Solomon did not just build a house. He built a palace complex comprising of several different units, and it comprised of the palace of the forest of Lebanon, the hall of justice, and the hall of pillars. He also made a house for Pharaoh's daughter, who was a symbol of Israel's most important foreign alliance at the time. Now, Solomon's building projects were a measure of his own success and prosperity. It was extensive and overly ostentatious, and it later caused him financial difficulty from his massive spending. We'll see that. Now, we see mentioned another person called Hiram, but this is not the King Hiram of Tyre. This is a Hiram who I compared to Bezalel, who God gave the skill to build the articles of the tabernacle while they were in the wilderness. Now, Hiram worked for him as a result of the trade agreement between the Phoenicians and Israel. And the Phoenicians at the time had greater technical skill. Chapter 7:14 says that about Hiram, that he was filled with wisdom and understanding, which implies that even though he was from Tyre, a Gentile, he may have been empowered by the Holy Spirit to do the work of contributing to the building project for Solomon. Now, Solomon commissioned the making of the furnishings of the temple. These include the sea, which was a bronze cast basin as big as a swimming pool for the ritual washing of the priests. He also commissioned the 10 lavas for washing of the utensils used for sacrifices, the altar of gold, which was the altar of incense, as well as the utensils, which were the bowls, the shovels, the pots, etc. Now, this chapter seemed, because it was very descriptive, it was like, so where do we see God in this? So let me share my hashtag getting to know God lesson. God establishes in strength. How do I know this? In 721, we saw a description of two pillars. Two bronze pillars are mentioned. The purpose of these pillars are unclear. However, in those times, it wasn't uncommon to have monuments built as memory aids for the people, reminders of events in Israel's history, just like the pillar that Jacob constructed when he made a covenant with God. He constructed that pillar in memory of his covenant with God in Genesis 28:10-19. Now, the names of these pillars in the entrance of the temple were Jachin, which translates to he establishes, and Boaz, which translates to in his strength. So these suggest that they were made to remind the Israelites every time that they entered into the temple, i.e., whenever they entered into the temple of the Lord, that he establishes in strength. So he reminds them of his strength and his sovereignty in establishing them, Israel, as his people. Thank you for joining me today. Tomorrow we'll continue with the story, and we'll be reading or sharing lessons from 1 Kings 8 and 2 Chronicles 5. Have a good day.